folks who are running for statewide office in the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania. Please give your candidates a nice round of applause as they come out. Heather Heidelbaugh, Devlin Robinson, Luke Negron, and Stacey Garrity. That's what I like to see. I got a feeling these guys would be pretty good representatives of the folks I see out here at CPAC, Pennsylvania today, I'll tell you that. Thank you. We're going to start with Heather Heidelbaugh, who is running for Attorney General of the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania. This is Heather right here. Heather is a CPAC alumni. She spoke at CPAC 2009 in Washington, D.C. when we took down Acorn. Do you remember when we took down Acorn, folks? Well, Heather was a critical part of that movement, and she's running for Attorney General. And what I hear is that the fellow that you have serving as your Attorney General right now would like to do things like criminalize the energy industry. We just heard about how important that was from my friend Charlie Giroux. He also doesn't seem to understand that America is a nation founded with the notion of religious liberty for all of our citizens. That if we want to go to church on Sunday, we can do it. So it gives me great pride and pleasure to be able to give to you guys the alternative to what's the status quo in Pennsylvania right now. Heather Heidelbaugh, your candidate for Attorney General.
Attorney General has made 306 press conferences about the high price of toilet paper. He has not made one single press conference about the looting and the lawlessness in our cities and the deaths and the destruction. Don't you think he would have had enough time to stand in front of a microphone one time and condemn this lawlessness? I need you to vote me in as the Chief Law Enforcement Officer of Pennsylvania, because I can guarantee you on day one, I'm going to stop this lawlessness. I helped take down Acorn in 2009. I fought them for a year. They got $1.5 billion of our tax dollars. I can take down this lawlessness and this looting. And we need to stop Josh Shapiro from absolutely taking away our religious liberties. This is the man who sued the Little Sisters of the Poor. He lost in the Supreme Court 7-2. And do you know what he said the day he lost? I'm going to continue to sue them because I don't believe in their moral beliefs. And if you don't believe a nun who takes care of the elderly poor has valid moral beliefs, what hope do any of us have? This man is wrong for Pennsylvania. We are the home of William Penn, the colony for religious freedom. Please elect me your next Attorney General of Pennsylvania. And thank you, and may God bless America.
Heather Heidelbaugh running for Attorney General. To my immediate left is Devlin Robinson, who's running for State Senate here in Pennsylvania. He is a veteran of the United States Marine Corps. He put the service back in public service. And I think he may have some choice words for Governor Wolf and what he's done to the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania here over the past few months. Devlin Robinson.
Thank you, thank you. Thank you all for coming out today. A little bit about my background. I joined the Marine Corps right before September 11th. And on the day of September 11th, I took a look at the towers burning. And I called up my recruiter and I said, we have to change my contract. I want to go to the infantry. I want to be the person on the front lines. I want to be the guy that pays those terrorists back for what they did. I fought in Iraq and Afghanistan, and I came home, and I started a small business right here in southwestern Pennsylvania. And never did I expect the government to be so restrictive to those entrepreneurs here in their own state. That was 14 years ago. And all the lobbying and all the requests and all the meetings that I've had, it's just gotten worse. And now that we're in this global pandemic, the governor has taken advantage of it and tried to shut down business, mainly just for the entrepreneurs, the independent business owners. I don't see Home Depot or Walmart having any problems during the pandemic right now. And now, a Pittsburgh native federal judge, William Stickman, finally held Governor Wolf accountable. Finally. And he came out, if you can read it, 66 pages. And what he said was, even during a time of emergency, the authority of the government shall not go unfettered. And we need people in the Senate and the House to make sure that he knows that he took an oath to defend the Constitution of the United States against all enemies, foreign and domestic. That's right. So thank you.
That's Devlin Robinson, folks. Devlin Robinson, remember the name. I think you need some of that in the state capitol, folks. To our left is a young man named Luke Negron. You know, I'm a swampy guy from Washington, D.C., and I can tell you D.C. has become infested with a lot of young leaders that are the darlings of the media, whether it's AOC or Rashida Tlaib or Ilhan Omar. There is a young socialist youth movement that has taken over a portion of the federal government, and Nancy Pelosi has been forced to listen to them. Well, I got something to tell you guys. We got a young man who is our future young leader of tomorrow. He's running for the United States Congress in the 18th District to serve Pennsylvanians. He's another veteran. He served in the Air Force. Please, a nice Pennsylvania welcome for Luke Negron, the future.
Thank you. Hello, CPAC. I am here because I see two big problems. I think that every policy problem which we face today is a trickle-down effect under two big umbrellas. Number one, elitist insider sellouts. Number two, the thing that they're selling out to, which is the rise of socialism. My opponent, career elitist Mike Doyle, is selling out to socialism, and I think that's wrong. Here's why. I believe that Abraham Lincoln called it right decades and decades ago when he said that if America was ever going to crumble, ever going to fail, ever going to succumb to threats, it's not going to come externally, it's going to come from internal to our own country. Number one, why is he right? Well, he's right because, first of all, the U.S. military still has the back of the American people from all international threats. Look, the U.S. military is still the big guns on the block. They're ready to swing with all takers. The military has an attitude when it comes to threatening our citizens, our civilians. They can send anyone they want, just don't send anyone you want back. That's the attitude of the military. But here's the problem. That's only half of the battle. Then what about the internal side? What about what Abraham Lincoln talked about? Well, I think he's right. I think this is going to come from alternate means of warfare and from internal threats. What might that look like? That might look like a virus. It might look like something like international economic warfare. It might look like international pressure towards globalism with international politicians trying to run our country for us. It might look like our schools being taken over by socialists and communists, or our entertainment industry being taken over by the same. Let me know if you see any of these things happening, right? That's what he predicted. That's what we're facing today. And why am I so outspoken against communism? Because communism is like seawater. It looks good to the untrained eye, but once you consume it, it kills you from the inside out. That's what we're facing today. That's what I'm against. I promise you, in this draft class of congressional candidates, you will not find anyone who is more dangerous to the socialist and communist cause than me. I will always stand for you, always stand for your freedoms, and always against socialism rising in America. Luke Negron, check out negron2020.com. Thank you all so much. Thank you, CPAC, for having us here. This is amazing.
Luke Negron, running for Congress. It's so nice to see so many veterans, so many folks who have served our nation on the front lines of America's military who are running for public office. That's the kind of character that we like to see in our leaders lots of times. Our next candidate is Stacey Garrity, and she's running for state treasurer. She's another Army veteran. She has 3 combat deployments under her belt. She retired as a colonel in the United States Army. And I got a feeling that she's got the character, the decency, and the proven record of leadership to be able to look after your money out there at the state capitol. She's running for state treasurer, Stacey Garrity.
Thank you so much. Good afternoon, CPAC. So, Stacey Garrity, candidate for state treasurer. I live in Athens, Pennsylvania, way up in Bradford County, where we have more cows than people, where we stand for the anthem, we kneel to pray, and when we get back up, we look out for one another. So my background, I have 33 years in manufacturing, working at the largest tungsten smelter in the Western world. We employ about 600 people. I've pushed a lot of legislation to maintain and create jobs and stop product from coming in from China that goes into our defense, our munitions. I worked my way up to become the first female vice president, but it's not just about my resume, it's about my story. So everybody knows the job of a state treasurer is to safeguard our billions and billions of dollars of public monies and make sure it doesn't leak out of the coffers. And I know a little bit something about guarding things because I'm an MP, military police. So 30 years in the United States Army Reserves, 3 combat deployments. My last deployment was in 2008, 2009. Our mission was care and custody of 7,000 detainees, and we had 1,200 soldiers under my command. We were the very first internment facility to have 0 abuse allegations and 0 escape attempts. So now I'm going to tell you why we need a change in the current treasurer's office. Did you know that this governor spent $900 million more last fiscal year than what was appropriated? Who knew that? $900 million, almost $1 billion, folks. And wouldn't that money be nice to have right now? Because you never know when you're going to have a crisis, and you never know when it's going to come from. And the reason you don't hear about this is because there's no checks and balances on the governor. We haven't had a Republican treasurer in almost 25 years. We haven't had a Republican auditor general since the 80s. And so these folks don't care about taxpayers. They don't care about Pennsylvanians. They're using these jobs as a platform to run for the next office. So I will be an advocate for every Pennsylvanian. I will be a watchdog for Pennsylvania taxpayers. I will watch what this governor spends his last 2 years in office. If you don't like what he did the last 6 months, think about what he'll do the next 2 years. Because he's term limited, he doesn't care. Yes. I will bring my Army values of loyalty, duty, service, respect, honor, integrity, and personal courage to Harrisburg, because money spent in Harrisburg does not belong to bureaucrats or politicians. It belongs to all of you. God bless all of you. God bless Pennsylvania, and God bless the United States. Thank you so much.
It takes a lot of courage to run for office. That's Stacey Garrity, ladies and gentlemen. She's running for state treasurer. Luke Negron, running for Congress in Pennsylvania 18. Heather Heidelbaugh, she wants to be your next attorney general. I think she can do it. And Devlin Robinson, looking to serve in the state senate in the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania. Remember those names, folks. And go out and do what you need to do in November. We can make a difference. These are the folks that you want to keep your eye on.